Carly.
What's the population?
No one knows the population, Carly. Only God knows the population. God and statistics instructors. And statistics instructors make them up. Dear Joan, oh God, how I loathe the beginning of a new semester. As usual, the class is full. Why I signed on to teach the slacker math class is beyond me, and I regret the decision every minute. I started them right away on graphs, going so slow I almost laughed at the horde of questions I received. God, how I hate college students, with all the maturity of a toddler, yet free to do whatever they please. The fact that their mothers have already given them wings never ceases to amaze me. Oh, Joan, the leaves are starting to change, and I know before long they will disappear entirely, leaving nothing but barren, desolate gloom. I welcome it. So, if you forget on a test, punch it into your calculator, and it says 0 factorial equals 1, and it's got a little d after it, and the d stands for dummy. Don't take that kind of talk from your calculator. Give it a little smack on the table. Be back in 10.
All right.
Dear Joan, I had a little slip-up in class today. Luckily, everyone thought it was a joke, and joy to me, announced their unwavering devotion to their statistics instructor. They then proceeded to rush out of the classroom for a smoking break, most of them standing just outside of the door, even though the sign clearly states smokers cannot persist in ruining their lungs within 30 feet of any building. Sometimes I think I'm teaching a class full of juvenile delinquents, except they're adults now. Tuesday is your birthday, Joan. I hope you're happy wherever you are. Martha overheard me singing Happy Birthday to you in the shower, practicing. She wanted to know who Joan was. I told her that the song was just stuck in my head. An ohrwurm, my Tante Mari used to call it. I don't think Martha believed me. She doesn't remember you.
Will we be doing this the whole time?
Yes, unless something extraordinary happens.
So if I leave now, I won't be missing much.
No. You'll miss how to make the most important decision in your life, though. Dear Joan, I was showing them how to make the most important decision of their lives today. As usual, the class suddenly became overwhelmed by giggling girls. Oh, how I hate the sound of laughter. The giggle syndrome seemed especially contagious today, as most of the so-called men joined the females. It always amazes me that the difference between college and high school is a thin, haphazard line. It's like playing the dating game with a bunch of ninth graders. Whenever I teach my students how to make the most important decision of their lives, I can't help but reflect on how I made mine. This year, I'm wondering if I chose wisely. I teach them to look at the first 28 to 35% and choose the best person that comes along after that. But Martha was only my second girlfriend. Should we have waited to get married? I often wonder. She seemed so certain, though. And 13 years! Many people I know have gone through several marriages in a period that long. Oh, Joan, Martha doesn't talk to me anymore. She memorizes my test dates and always bakes something sweet for my undeserving students, but other than that, we are like strangers under the same roof. We have been so for years. I've tried to deny it. Never ignore what's lurking beside you, Joan.
Hey, Professor Heinrich, did you know that 37.5% of statistics are made up on the spot?
Heard it before, Carly. Heard it before.
Yeah, and 98.7% of math teachers go mad.
Dear Joan, today I watched a flower bloom. It's fall break, or whatever they're calling it now, so I had plenty of time to sit and watch my blossom öffnen. Today I observed it for 8 hours. It grew 1/4 millimeter. I measured it at 4 intervals throughout the day. Martha came home and wanted to know why it appeared that I hadn't moved since she left this morning. I didn't answer her.
Who's Joan?
I can explain.
I want a divorce.
Dear Joan, today we had a faculty meeting. It was uneventful, the usual stuff. How to improve test scores, plans for the new cafeteria, how to save money, old hat. Martha seized the opportunity. While I was at the meeting, she went rummaging through my study. She found this book and several others I've been meaning to drop by for some time. I'm not certain how far she got, but I fear she may have read everything I've written to you for the last 2 years. Joan, I don't know what to do. We argued for the first time in almost 5 years. We argued over you. I wouldn't tell her. I couldn't tell her, Joan. She demanded several times for an explanation, but how could I possibly explain to her about you, Joan? She wants a divorce. That's the price of keeping you a secret. I'm not sure what I should do, Joan. I'm really not. Martha was never an animal lover, Joan. Even though you've been gone since before we were married, I just feel it's better this way.
Heinrich's not teaching next semester? No, I heard he's
Going through a divorce.
Darn. My sister was planning to take statistics with him.
I wrote his wife on his diary, and he's been writing to this other lady for years. And he says all sorts of nasty things about his students.
No way! He was always so sweet.
98.7%.
Dear Joan, I'm supposed to be moving out today. Martha hasn't asked where I'm going. She hasn't spoken to me much at all lately. I'm grateful. I have no clue where I'll be tomorrow. I think I'll have the chance to take some of these by your grave today, Joan. This notebook is nearing its last few pages, and it's time I start a new one. I'll be bringing by a picture, too, Joan. I found it while packing. It was taken just a few months before you died. You look healthy, Joan. The sun is reflecting off your golden coat, and your tongue has rolled out of your mouth. There is a ball near your paws. I assume I've just tossed it for you. I miss you, Joan, my little Hündchen. It's amazing how fast things can change. Joan, I'm not certain what's going to happen after this. I think Martha's reaction is starting to have an effect on me. I'm not well, Joan, and percentages keep flying through my head, especially one. 98.7%. I can't quite remember where I heard it, but I think someone told me once that 98.7% of people who study challenging subjects like physics and math become mentally unstable. What if I'm one of them? Okay, here's a little murder mystery for you. Colonel Mustard wants to off the missus, so he puts 4 poison cubes of sugar in a bowl with 3 good cubes. Mrs. Mustard takes 1 cube and feeds it to the Colonel's favorite foxhound. The dog takes the cube and leaves. Mrs. Mustard then takes a cube for her tea. What's the probability they both survive? Dear Joan, yesterday I was walking when I spotted something shining on the sidewalk. I picked up a fairly nice nickel. It was quite shiny, so I pocketed it. Thank God for small pleasures.